Get your St. Louis MMA fix at knucklejunkies.com.
This video is sponsored by Brad Carey with Realty Executives Premier. If you're looking to buy or sell your home, call Brad Carey.
Arion Zekti here with Knuckle Junkies with Victor Luis the Beast Pena. Luis, this is your entry-level fight into professional K1 kickboxing, and I mean, man, that was probably KO of the year, and it's the first week of 2017. Just walk me through the fight.
It was an interesting fight, man. He came out kind of the way I planned he would, strong. He felled me out a little bit more than I thought he would, which actually played into my style of striking really well. I was a little bit more tentative than I would have wanted to be, but once I finally found my rhythm and my groove, I really was able to let things flow. And I caught him with a couple of things before I threw that knee.
Yeah, I was actually going to say that. He came out really aggressive in this fight, and I asked you backstage, I said, hey, did you guys have any back and forth banter? Because you looked cool, calm, and collected, and he looked like the more emotional fighter. So was there any banter?
Prior to this, one of my friends, Justin Weaver, made a comment on a Facebook post talking about, predicting that I was going to win by murder. And apparently that got their team kind of riled up, and at weigh-ins he got a little chippy with me. So there was a little bit of heat between us, but it's nothing. It's a fight game. We're two men going out there trying to hurt each other. There's going to be a little bit of that between two guys.
Now you're one of the more active professional fighters. I just want to ask, how do you stay so active? How do you stay healthy and still train hard and put out a performance like that?
I don't know, man. I just do it. I just train every day, and I want to do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not one of those guys that makes an excuse to go to the gym or to not go to the gym. I'm like the guy that makes excuses to leave wherever they're at to go train. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just train every day, and I want this. You know what I'm saying? I've been blessed not to get injured or anything in my career long enough to put me on the shelf. So, I don't know. I'm just lucky.
Well, Luis, fantastic performance. In my opinion, KO of the year already. It's always a phenomenal watching you fight, man. Thank you.
Thanks, Ariel. I appreciate that.
I'm here with co-main event winner Josh Sampo. Josh, first and foremost, how does it feel to get back into the cage/ring/ just competing again?
I definitely had some ring rust. Really kind of glad I got to knock some of that off. It was good, though. The whole getting things back into the same routine, cutting weight, getting back in that lifestyle again. It was pretty difficult now that I'm a full-time teacher and coaching a high school wrestling team and just trying to do all that and balance it all. And it was difficult, but I knew I still wanted to do it, push through it. It was good. It feels really good. I'm glad I needed that monkey off my back, per se. Yeah, so it was good to get back in there.
That's crazy that you say that, like a full-time teacher and you coach wrestling, and right now it's wrestling season. So where do you find the time to train?
I train as hard as I can with the kids in wrestling practice, so I go full practices with them as much as I can, especially when kids need an extra go. And then as soon as I'm done there, I jet straight to practice, get my workouts in, and then run or whatever at the gym, and then home bed and do it all over again. So it's a pretty stacked schedule, but if you want to do it, you got to make it happen, kind of thing. So.
Awesome. And it was a fantastic performance. I mean, it went the distance, but no shortage of action. Really pushing the pace on the guy. Was that the game plan going into this fight, to just get in his face and make it dirty?
That's kind of usually how I like to fight. I like to keep the pace on people. It kind of keeps people from getting their offense off. That canvas is super slick. It was hard to really plant and throw and really kind of implement my game plan because of the canvas, but we adjusted the best we could with what we had. So.
Awesome. And out of curiosity, I know after taking some time off, you came back for K1. Is there something you want to do, kind of compete both in K1? Do you want to make it back into MMA? I know I don't like to ask people what's the next move, right? But for you, what are your plans?
Well, I was when I got signed to the UFC back a couple years ago, I also got offered a fight for Lion Fights. We went to our matchmaker in the UFC, and he said absolutely not. So I was kind of bummed at that. It would have been nice to be able to do both, kickboxing and MMA, especially when I was just a full-time fighter at the time. That really kind of bummed me out. I was like, man, it would have been cool to fight on that level. But no, I need to get back. I think where I was really lacking was on my feet in my MMA game. Really trying to chase people down and get them to the ground, but it's like I needed to really expose that the striking that I need to get better at and work on those different things. So there's no better way to do it than to step in there with kickboxers and boxers alike and just go at it at their game. It's going to make me better. It doesn't hurt me. You know what I mean? It doesn't go against my MMA record, but I get a gain in the knowledge and skill of those attributes. So,
one of the hardest things for a man to do is acknowledge his weaknesses. Josh, incredibly watching you fight, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Knuckle Junkies here with main event winner Scott Futrell. Scott, you took on a very game and very tough opponent in Daryl Cobb.
Right.
The questions leading up into this fight, a lot of them were, how is Daryl Cobb going to deal with the range of Scott Futrell? And how is Scott Futrell going to deal with the pressure and the power of Daryl Cobb? Tonight, all those questions were answered. You were the one who pressured, and you were the one who dictated the pace. Was that the game plan going in?
Well, kind of, sort of. The game plan was to stay in my range, watch his leg kicks. I know he got some real good, solid leg kicks, and he's a powerful dude. So I just wanted to stay in my range, pick my shots, pepper him up with little light shots and land my heavy ones when I could. Didn't want to overcommit to anything. A surprise to me, the canvas was a little slippery when I got in there, so I couldn't throw a little more, little what I wanted to, but I made it work.
You did a really good job at stifling his offense with teep kicks and stiff jabs. Now, everyone says, when you're lengthy, you want to keep the range, but you didn't have a problem staying in the pocket with him. Was there anything that surprised you about this fight?
His ability to close distance pretty good. That surprised me. He's pretty quick for his size. I expected the good leg kicks and stuff. I expected the fight pretty much everything how it happened. I expected. I expected him to come out tough, strong. And it didn't give up, didn't put up no quit, but neither do I. So I like pressuring people.
Well, Scott, that was a fantastic main event, man. It was the one I was looking forward to. Thank you.
I appreciate that. All right.
knucklejunkies.com.